everyone. My name is Marino Vigliotti, and today I'm with my colleague Anton Tikhonov. We'll be presenting migration to Kerio Connect. What we'll be doing today, before jumping into the migration, we will look very quickly about Kerio Connect, as some of you might not know everything, but will be very brief. Then we will give you the option to see from what you can migrate to, from, and the tools that we provide, such as Exchange, Migration Tool, Imap, and also if you have your email already hosted somewhere else, like on Gmail or ISP, and we'll give you some tips that we have learned. They are not official tips, but they are things that we have learned from what people actually do through their migration and how it can be optimized. I will have the easy task to go through the presentation, and my colleague Anton will take the tough challenge of doing the live demo. So let's quickly have a look. The Exchange is very popular mail server, is very good enterprise server, but we position ourselves also as one of the best alternative for Exchange in the SMB market. Why? Because it fits the needs for small SMB, and is regarded as something that actually works for the SMB, not for the enterprise. And this is also related to how you manage enterprise solutions in the SMB. This is where Exchange possibly comes into play. And of course, we provide an excellent value for all the facilities that we provide in alternative to Exchange. Let's move on to the practical bit, which is a simple administration. For Exchange, you need to be a very good administrator, and this works when you have the hundreds or possibly the thousands, and the only thing you do is actually looking after Kerio Exchange. You look after Microsoft Exchange. If you haven't seen an installation before, it's very fast. It's already been provided in other webinars. Today we will concentrate on the migration. You have one single interface where you can manage everything: creation of users, management of emails, accounts, and so on. And also, often people don't know that we actually provide support for Active Directory. So if you have an hosting environment, so where you're hosting your emails on Exchange platform, whether it's in the office or remote, and you have a Active Directory, you can still carry on using your Active Directory as a backend, as providing credentials such as username and password, and Kerio Connect as well. The same is true for Open Directory. We are truly cross-platform. You can install the mail server on Windows, Mac, Linux, and our own software appliance, which is supported by VMware. Works very well on the OS at the client level as well as a server level. So, for example, if you have a Mac, you don't have to have an OS server. The same is true also for Windows. You can install it on Windows 7, or even if you want to go back in time, you can go back to XP. And there are literally no other packages that you require other than the basic requirement that is stated on the website. Let's go in the proper details now about the migration. So for Microsoft Exchange, you can start from the very early version of 5.5 to the 2010. Most important, I would like to highlight what you can migrate from Exchange. You can migrate domains, user accounts, calendars, everything that you see on your left side of the presentation. So we provide the tool that is able to extract everything, public and shared folders. If you look on the other side, if you don't have an Exchange, you want to migrate away from Endaemon or Icewap or any other of our competitors, we don't have the tool that is able to extract anything else other than domain, user accounts, and folders. Now, public folders, they need to be nested underneath one of the users, as Anton probably will show you. We'll also, when you have a public folder, on Exchange gets migrated all together using the Imap, needs to be moved under one user just for the migration, then moved back into the public folder when you migrate back to Connect. Look at the bottom, there are two knowledge base articles. Again, don't worry about writing down. We will post the presentation on the partner portal, and you can go back. So if you need to go through the details of what is needed for each migration, you can go back to the knowledge base articles. Second step in the migration that we want to look at is also non-standard mail server. So, for example, your mail is actually hosted on public service like Gmail, Hotmail, Office 365, or what we call private emails, such as an ISP gives you an email account. You want to migrate away from them, or other resellers, they might offer one of your customers' emails, so you can migrate away from them. This is only supported by POP3, which means that you can only migrate emails. You cannot even migrate folders. You can only migrate physical emails. They get dumped onto the local machine and get re-uploaded. And we will look how to do this again through the demo that Anna will give us in a few minutes. Knowledge base article at the bottom there as well. There is also another product called Communicate Pro. Used to be very popular. We used to get a lot of questions about it, and there is a migration tool as well. For this migration, we are able to migrate be more than just emails. So domains, user accounts, data, calendars, and address list. Tempt. Kerio Exchange Migration Tool. Let's look how it works. Basically, for those who are familiar with Kerio Connect, this is like the enhanced version of COF, which is a Kerio offline connector. So what it does, on one side, communicates with Exchange using MAPI. The MAPI is the proprietary system that Exchange provides information to the Tempt. And on the other side, the migration tool will push the information to the Kerio Connect server via Imap. So what you do afterwards, you need to have a machine which will host two bits. The first one is the Microsoft Outlook, and the next one would be the Tempt. So the two, they need to work together. And the reason is because the Tempt, as I mentioned before, is a version or enhanced version of the COF, and will need to access the MAPI libraries. That's why it needs to sit together on the same machine of Kerio, of the Kerio migration tool and Outlook together. Have a look at the bottom thing. Very important. Do not think that you can do without accessing Exchange without your admin rights. You do need to have admin rights. So if it's hosted or someone else owns the passwords, you need to access admin level Exchange. Kerio Imap Migration Tool. This works by a pre-formatted loading of CSV files. The format has to be user at the domain that you want to import or and export from Imap. Then you will need the password. So you do need to have access to the password of the users and the full name that you want to use for that specific user. All the data from the remote server will be moved by Imap. So the connection will happen on, again, another third party will access your mail server sitting on one side, where there is Neiman, Icewarp, Zimbra, will get the information using the Imap protocol and will be pushed onto Kerio Connect. Where should be installed? You can use whichever, with Linux, Windows, Mac. Is a third-party machine, and in this case, compared to the Exchange, you don't need to have access to the server level, and there is a difference because you are providing already the credential, as you can see, username, domain, and password to actually get the data using the IMAP protocol. So effectively, you are using like a fake entry of the individual users to suck the data out of the server, dump it somewhere locally, and move it onto Kerio Connect. The other option, if you have people using public mail servers such Gmail, Office 365, you can actually use the POP3 facility, download things locally, and this one will require also some sorting rules, because before the migration, you need to actually decide where every email is going into the into Kerio Connect. You will be doing one single transaction, and Anton will show you how this is going to happen in the demonstration. And also, I just want to show you that the POP3 download task can be started on a schedule mode. Encrypt the data connection. This is going to take a long time, and there can be some breaks in the communication, so somebody can actually crack your connection. So please pay attention to these two elements. One, encrypt the data, and two, if it's a big one, try to have it by schedule process. Some tips. If you look at the first line, is very clear. Every IMAP started, and this is the typical 143 port, so nothing special. Just be sure that anything basic is done in the first place. Number two is not being put in bold, but should be bold. Do not install the Kerio Exchange migration tool on Exchange. This will not work. So you can install the Camped on any other machine other than Exchange. Anton also wanted to highlight it in the point number 3 when we wrote the presentation, is that if you're trying to do a migration, very often people say, can I migrate and carry on receiving emails? What we want to say here, no, you need to disconnect your existing mail server and start the migration. Why? Because if you have a migration in the middle of normal working hours or even weekends and emails that get pushed to the mail server, the migration starts, new emails come, and they will not be actually put into the migration data that is migrated. Tips, but also information that you need to know. If there is a firewall between the Exchange and the Connect, you need to open not just the IMAP port 143, but also TCP UDP 44337, as well as the one below 44333. These are actually used for performing management tasks of the migration, and it's not just about the data. We need to check connectivity to the server, and so on. So if there is something between the mail server that you're using and Kerio Connect, these three ports must be actually open. Migrate data in chunks. Try the first one, find out how much it's going to take. If you're going to use a local LAN, it's going to be quite fast, and you could take up to 1 gig per hour, depending on the connectivity, how much the server is trained, and so on. If you're using it using remote services, so exchanges in the data center, Zimbra somewhere else, that will take you much longer. Why? Because your bottleneck will be your internet connectivity, not actually the migration tool. And also activate user accounts before the migration starts if you're using directory services. After the migration, you do need to check if there are problems. So problems will be written in the logs. Anything from things not going right, passwords, and not all mail has been imported from a specific user. So you do need to read properly in the logs of Kerio Connect, because Kerio Connect will tell you exactly what has failed, what was supposed to be migrated has not been migrated. So once Kerio Connect has been installed, wipe all the logs possibly, or make sure that you know that if there are problems, you can go through a small chunks of logs, no historical logs. There are log paths that you can have a look. So there is no need for me to read it, depending on which platform you are installing Kerio Connect, Windows, Linux, or Mac. And they have a specific format. So just pay attention so you know which logs you're going to read after that. And now I will hand over to my colleague Anton, who will be doing the demo. And Anton will be demonstrating the exchange process, how you migrate it, also the IMAP, using pre-formatted CSV file, and migrating using POP3. I will now go on mute, but if people have a question related to what Anton is demonstrating, please write it, and I will try to answer or will interrupt Anton to have more clarifications. Thank you, Anton. Over to you.
Thank you, Marino. Hello to everyone. First of all, I would like to check with you: can you see the screen of my desktop? There is some Kerio sign, some shortcuts. Please write it down on the chat. Oh, thank you, Marino. Yes. So we will start today from the Kerio Exchange Migration tool. And there is not a lot of preparation steps if you already have the Exchange. So I have one. It is Exchange 2010. So we have some data inside of it. So it's a web app of it. So we have some emails in mailbox of Bruce. We have some data in public folders, some address of companion, something inside of something inside of public calendar, but it's unfortunately Exchange, and there's some issues all the time with this thing. I actually don't know what is wrong with it. So we will relog in again, that you can confirm that we have something inside the public calendar.
I also want to highlight that you might see some Russian writing because Anton is based in our Russian office. So some of the folders they might see appearing with strange characters is actually Cyrillic and is Russian language used by Anton on his daily basis.
Yeah. That's right. I'm from Russia, from Moscow. So and here is the event in common calendar in public folders. So we have some data on Exchange, and we need to migrate it to our Kerio Connect server, and we will use the one more PC for this. We'll install it Microsoft Outlook 2010. It may be 2007, 2013, it doesn't matter. And we've installed Kerio Exchange Migration tool. So we need to run this tool. It's quite simple tool. You need to push the next button several times and then migrate button and finish button. So it's quite simple. On the first screen, you can see the warning about that you should not run Kerio Exchange Migration tool on the computer where the Microsoft Exchange server is running. It's Marina already mentioned about it, so it's one more time. And the first question from this tool to us is to provide hostname of the Exchange server. Sorry, it's my Russian first again. And account for the administration access. So we have this account. Next button, the tool has been connected to the Exchange server. Again, the credentials. And okay. So the second question is to provide the credentials to access the Kerio Connect server, and we have it right here. And the administrative account, it's quite simple for my virtual account. It's admin, the one password. So here is our data on this. So you can see some non-English accounts. It's in administrative account to the Active Directory. So we will not migrate it. Actually, I don't want to migrate any data because it will take more time than we have for this demonstration. So I will migrate only public folders. And
sorry, Anton, just something. When we go for the migration or the customer through the migration, by default, we'll select all the available accounts. So people be careful with that.
Yes, of course. Before you will put migrate button, I suggest you to review all selected options for migration, also their accounts, because there can be some embedded accounts like Kerberos in Active Directory and so on. So just migrate that one that you need to migrate. So I will migrate the public folders and Bruce Wayne account. So let's push the migrate button, and the migration process started. So actually there is nothing more to do. We just need to wait for some time for migration process. When it will be completed, we can review all this data on our Kerio Connect server. I would like to mention one. Yeah.
Sorry, as we are going through, I just want to mention a few things. Stepping in, I can see we only have two parallel processes. I would like to mention that we have built in a limitation of 6 threads. So you cannot migrate more than 6 threads in parallel. And this is to avoid to cripple the machine that you're using the Exchange for. So your maximum number of mailboxes that you're going to migrate from Exchange is no more than 6. So if you have more than that, please get in touch with us and we can advise you a few things. But by default, we do not suggest more than 3. More than 6 threads.
More than 6.
Sorry, Anna.
Yeah. No, thank you, Marino. It's nice information. There is one more thing that I want to show you during the Exchange migration. Right now we are migrating the data to Kerio Connect with the new passwords which will be created by the Kerio Exchange migration tool. But if you would like to save passwords from your Active Directory, for example, you would like to keep this, you need to do one more step before you will start the migration process. You will need to create the email domain on Kerio Connect with the name of the domain that you would like to use after the migration. For example, I will show you. So we need to go to the configuration, domains, add new local domain. It can be what we're going to migrate, so it will be kerio.edu. and we need to connect this domain to directory service. In our case, it is Active Directory, so we will use this one. We need to set up the domain controller name. It will be like this, and the credential to access the schema. Password. Actually, that's all what we need to do. Test connection just to test it, that the connection is successfully tested. Okay, and then okay, push OK button. But I will not do this because right now I have the migration process started, so I can mess things with this setting. So I will get back to my Windows client host, and some more time. It's about maybe 30 seconds to complete the process. Maybe you have something to ask during this process. I will be happy to answer any of your question according the migration process. If you don't have any questions, I should suggest just to wait a few more seconds and we will check the migration results. So as you can see, all data has been migrated, and the final screen of the migration tool where we can find the summary of the migration process, and we can access all necessary logs. So it's report log. Actually, it is most important log that you need to use after the migration process, because here you can find all important data about the migration process that have been completed right now. And if you are not connected your email domain in Kerio Connect to the same Active Directory, in this file you will find all new passwords that were created by Kerio Exchange Migration tool, and you need to use this password to access data of the migrated users on Kerio Connect. So I will show you
Do you mind going through again, if you don't mind? Explaining why they need to look at the report and the password.
So again, yes, you definitely need to review the report log, because if you won't connect your Kerio Connect to Active Directory domain, the same Active Directory domain that your Exchange has used for the credentials, the Kerio Exchange Migration tool will create some custom passwords for each migrated user account from Exchange to Kerio Connect. And in this log, you will find all these passwords. Okay, let's, yeah, Marino?
No, thank you. This is very important. So if people don't actually want to use the Exchange in conjunction with their old Active Directory, they can actually dump both of them and run Kerio Connect on their own, on his own, without any support from Active Directory. But if they carry on using Active Directory, they don't have to worry about the passwords.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. So the migration process completed. Let's look for the results. And password 7F3E. Okay. Okay, here is our Kerio Connect client interface, and so we can find some emails here, some nested folders. There's one is empty, the one more is full of emails. Also, we can find the personal calendar, it was empty, and we can find the public calendar, and we can find the event inside of it that was migrated from the Exchange. Also, we have the public contacts that were migrated using. Sorry about this quadrification. Actually, I just tried to migrate all this data several times this morning. So all these Vasilis was migrated from previous attempts. So actually, the last one is the current one that was migrated from the current migration process. So as we can see, everything was migrated from Exchange to Connect without any problems. Of course, if you will migrate the real Exchange server, it will take much more time than it takes right now, but it will be the same simple way as you can see right now from my testing environment. So that's all for Exchange migration. If you have any question about it, we can spend some time for answering your questions. If you don't, we can move to next migration option. It's Kerio Imap Migration tool. So actually, it's quite similar to the Kerio Exchange migration tool. So there's some next button, one migrate button, and one finish button. So let's start it. First question, again, the same way as for the Exchange migration, you need to input the name of your IMAP server. So it is mailimap.com. Sorry, mailimap.com. I suggest you to use SSL connection for every time that you are going to start the migration process, because right now I will not use it because I don't have any sensible data on my testing servers. But when you will do the migration, in most cases it will be done through the public internet links. So it is always better to use SSL connection than you don't use it. It will take a little bit more time than without it, but it's much safer. So when we're pushing the next button, the migration tool tries to connect to our IMAP server, and the next screen is the questions about our Kerio Connect server. So Kerio Connect server is the same. File Kerio username, the same administrative account. Again, use SSL connection every time. I will not use it right now because I don't need it right now. And the main difference, right now we need to upload the preconfigured text file with the account names and the passwords. So we need to push the load button and use user's CSV file. Before I will upload it, I will show you this file. It's quite simple. Yes, you can see the email address, password, and the full name. The main thing you need to keep in mind when you're going to save it in UTF-8 encoding. It's quite important for Kerio Connect. So we have this file. We try to open it. The tool opened it, and we can find that we have all accounts from this file are on the source server, and all these accounts are accessible. So we can start the migration. Let's push the migrate button. So actually, the tool right now creates the new email domain on Kerio Connect, new accounts on Kerio Connect, and copy all data from the source server to target Kerio Connect server. So I will show you the results through the Kerio Connect web admin console. Let's look for the domains that have been created by the different tools. So here you can find that Kerio.edu domain was created by Kerio Exchange migration tool. Another domain, imap.com, was created by Kerio Imap migration tool. So that's why we need to use administrative account to access Kerio Connect server. So in this case, this tool will be able to create new accounts, new domains, etc. So let's get back to my Windows client. Same final screen, results of the migration, and report and debug log links. In the report log, you may find the report of the migration, and you can find that the password was collected from CSV file. So actually, you will need this password from CSV file to access data of these accounts on Kerio Connect server. Let's check this out. Let's log out this account. Logging in. Okay, we have something inside of it. Actually, we have only the emails. We don't have any calendars and address books. All these data, I mean calendars and address book that you can see right now, was created by Kerio Connect during the account creation by migration tool. So as you can see, some data is migrated. We can check this also through the admin console. So we have the imap.com domain, and you can see some storage usage for every account on this server on this domain. So that's all for the Imap migration tool. If you have some questions, please write it down in chat so I can answer them, or Marino will answer them. So it looks like there.
Yeah, if there are no questions, I guess we can go to the next bit.
Yes. Yes, I will move on to the POP3 migration, if I can say that, but I'm sure it's not the real migration, just copying email. But before we will start it, we need to perform some preparation steps. First step will be the domain creation. So I've created the email domain with name pop3.com just to locate it very easily during the demonstration. So I've created the simple local email domain. There's nothing, some extra settings. All settings set it by default. There's nothing more. Also, second step, I need to create additional users inside of this domain. So I need some email accounts which will be used to copy data from.
I think we lost Anton. Just 1 second. Yeah, he's dropped the connection. There must be a problem with this office internet. In the meanwhile, I just wanted to ask you if everything is clear regarding the migration using the different tools. As you can see, with the Exchange is much easier because we built the tool exactly knowing how to migrate from Exchange. It's a single platform, so we know where to get information from. But for the IMAP, it's very different because depending which server you're migrating from. Nick is asking, I'm confused about which to use Exchange Online. Okay, Exchange Online, depending on how, do you have the things set up with your partner that is hosting Exchange Online? Do they give you access to admin level? If they don't, you possibly need to look at the
Hello?
IMAP. Yes, Anton, welcome back.
Hello guys, sorry for that. It's some local issues with my connection.
I was answering a question regarding migrating away from Exchange Online. Nick asked, what do I do? Do I use Exchange Online? Do I use Exchange migration tool? And he said there is no admin access. So I would say you need to treat Exchange Online as a normal server. The fact that it's an exchange is an exchange, so you might need to use IMAP, Nick.
Yeah, that's correct. Yes, definitely. I can continue, I think. The second step, creating of the accounts for collecting the data from the source server on the target Kerio Connect server. So we have created some accounts. I created this account with the same addresses that I used on the source server because in most cases when we're moving from, I don't know, ISP, we would like to use the same addresses. So we need to create, I don't know, account for our boss, for some managers, engineers, and so on. So I created 3. And the next step, what I need to do is to create the delivery accounts for accessing the POP3 accounts on the source server. Actually, in most cases, at least in Russia, in most cases, POP3 ISPs are using the single email box for any email address in the hosted email domain. In that case, you will need to have only one POP3 account to access your email on the POP3 server outside your company's on some hosting. Otherwise, also in our demonstration, we are using the separate account, POP3 account, to access separate mailbox on the source server. I will show you the options for these accounts. Actually, it's quite simple. We need to input the POP3 server address. We need to input the POP3 username and password. And on the second section, sorting and delivery, we need to use option to use sorting rules and choose the preferred header that is used for sorting emails, for delivering emails on your mail hosting site. In our case, it is header received. You can see the other options also available. On advanced tab, I suggest you again to use SSL. In my case, I will not use, because all my data is stored on virtual environment and completely isolated from any external access. So I will not use it. But for you, I suggest you use SSL every time. Also, there are some additional options for download limits and retention policy. I take the option leave a copy of a message on the source server just because I need these emails there. If you don't need to store or save your emails on your hosting, you may not to tick this option. So all emails downloaded by this account will be permanently deleted by Kerio Connect on the source server. So other accounts are the same. The only difference is the email address and the password. The second thing that we need to do with the POP3 downloading is to create some sorting rules. I've created two rules. First one is sort address asterisks at pop3.com. Pop3.com can be any email domain name, and deliver these addresses to the same asterisks at pop3.com. This means that if I have email on the source server addressed to, for example, boss at pop3.com, it will be delivered to local account boss at pop3.com. It's just like a wildcard or something. And if you have some emails that are addressed to email addresses that you are not going to use inside your current Kerio Connect server, but you would like to keep them somewhere on Kerio Connect server, you need to create one more sorting rule. It's so-called catch-all rule. So it will sort by asterisks and deliver this email to some administrative account that you want to use for such proposal. Actually, this means that if previous sorting rule didn't match any incoming email downloaded from the remote POP3 server, it will be sorted by this rule and delivers to some used for this proposal email account. So that's all what you need to do to prepare your Kerio Connect server to download emails from the external POP3 service. And before we will push the download now button, I would like to show you some additional things to do to have more information about the POP3 downloading process. For this, you need to go to the logs, to log debug. Right-click on the screen of this log and choose the messages option. And there you need to tick in the remote POP3 download option and push the OK. That's all. Now we can start the download process of the emails from the POP3 server. So we push the download now button and we can see that downloaded invoked, and we can see result in log window. Mainly we can see results in mail log. So here we can find that there's some emails were downloaded from source server and they were sorted to some local accounts. If you would like to have some more detailed information, you can switch to debug log and just look inside the POP3 protocol commands that were issued by Kerio Connect to download these emails from source server and put them to local accounts on the local Kerio Connect server. So as you can see, receiving is finished. We can check the results on the Kerio Connect server. First of all, we will check it through web admin console. I will refresh it. So you can see that the amount of storage usage has been changed for all accounts in this POP3.com domain. Also, we will check this out through the web client, web Kerio Connect client. So boss pop3.com and password. So we have some emails downloaded from the source server. All of them are put into inbox folder. If your users need to change this and sort emails inside the mailbox, so prior to migration process, to start of migration process, you need to create some filters. I mean local filters, filtering the delivering emails to this mailbox. So that's all about the migration options today. One more thing about the POP3 migration in quotes. It can be used not only to migrate data from some, I don't know, ISP or from some email hosting. You can use it for migrate from any email cloud service. So I don't know, it's Google, I don't know, Yahoo, maybe some Russian service, whatever, it doesn't matter. So that's all what I want to show you. If you have any questions, you may write them down to the chat. And I think if there is no questions, I can pass the word to Marino, and I would like to say thank you